Thank you for attending the school board meeting for Monday, April 27th. We have a few absences this evening. Director Steigaus out of the country, and Director Oliva is ill. We do expect Director Corman, though, so we do have a quorum. So please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would someone like to move approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 None opposed. Thank you. First on our agenda is recognition of students, staff, and public. And our first item is the Jefferson Theater Company, which is presenting Seussical the Musical.
Hello, I am the cat in a hat. You probably couldn't tell I'm from a show because I'm dressed just like you. But we are presenting our show from Jefferson High School, Seussical. That is going to be opening next week. I have my friends with me, Thing 1 and Thing 2, and my friends JoJo and Horton, who are going to be singing Alone in the Universe.
There are secrets on a leaf, in the water, in the air, hidden planets, tiny worlds, all invisible. Not a person seems to know, not a person seems to care. There is no one who believes a thing I say. Well, I'm fairly certain at one time or other, great thinkers all feel this way. I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. I found magic, but they won't see it. They all call me a lunatic. Okay, call me a lunatic. If I stand on my own, so be it. 'Cause I have wings, yes, I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe, who believes in me.
I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. My own planets and stars are glowing.
Alone in the universe.
No one notices anything. Not one person is listening. They don't have any way of knowing.
Nobody knows that I have wings.
I have wings.
Yes, I can fly
I can
around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon you will hear my plea. One small voice in the universe,
one true friend in the universe.
please believe in me.
So we are all going to introduce ourselves now. My name is Maya Mick, and I'm in 10th grade at Jefferson High School, and I play the cat.
I'm Jillian Shoquist, I'm in 9th grade and I play Thing 2. I'm Genevieve Blunt and I'm in 10th grade and I play Thing 1.
I'm Ben Casahara and I'm in 8th grade and I play JoJo.
My name is Elena Smith, I'm in 11th grade, I'm part of the pit orchestra.
My name is Zach Diedrich. I'm in 11th grade also, and I'm Horton the elephant, if you couldn't tell.
So we hope you can all join us. Opening is May 7th at 7 p.m. So thank you.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, it runs through May 10th, May 7th and 8th at 7 PM, May 9th, 3 and 7 PM, and May 10th at 3 PM. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
And thanks to Laura Schmidt for another great production.
Sure. Thank you. Next, we have a Human Rights Commission, Diversity Day T-shirt logo design winner. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, attendees. Thanks for coming in. My name is Jared Leese. Unfortunately, Commissioner Kane was double booked this evening, so he was unable to attend. I just wanted to touch on a couple of quick talking points about Diversity Day. Better?
Thank you.
Okay, success. So every year, the Human Rights Commission, along with the School District of Educational Equity, work together on the Diversity Day, Diversity Week events. So this year, Diversity Day is Friday, May 1st, coming up very soon, in fact. So we're going to have some cultural information booths. There's a peace run, various activities, as well as a keynote speaker, both at Jefferson and Kennedy High Schools. This year, that's going to be Kevin Kling. Some of you may know his work from his autobiographical stories. He's been on NPR a number of times. I know him from the Mill City Museum's History of Minneapolis, so I'm very pleased. We're also inviting Mr. Kling because this is the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. As you may or may not know, he was born with a congenital birth defect and then also suffered a motorcycle accident that left him disabled in both of his arms. So this is important to him as well. Presentations are going to be at Kennedy at 8:40 a.m. on Friday the 1st and at Jefferson at 1:45 p.m. Obviously, members of the board, as well as anyone else, are welcome to attend. You'll probably be in class that day, so you'll be there anyway. As part of the Diversity Day events, students were encouraged to submit a T-shirt design logo. And for the 6th year, the Human Rights Commission was asked to judge those designs. The winning design is selected on completeness, originality, and incorporation of the themes peace and diversity. Tonight, I would like to recognize, as she was last week, Jefferson High School sophomore Madison Keene. Madison, if you'd step up to the podium, please. Madison was presented with a $100 check from Bloomington Richfield Credit Union, as well as a gift certificate to Chipotle. Her winning design, as well as the other submissions, are going to be on display at Civic Plaza until the 29th. So thank you very much, Madison, and congratulations on your design.
I'm going to, since I walked up here, just jump in really quick. I'm here representing Dina Wade-Ardley. She couldn't be here tonight from the Office of Educational Equity, but she wanted to, and I'm Eric Melby, Student Services Director. Dina just wanted to say thank you again to the Human Rights Commission and the city. It's been a great partnership, and they're looking forward to Diversity Day this Friday. So thanks.
Thank you. Now I see we have quite a few students in the audience, and they are here for their civics, I believe. So we'd like to invite you to come up and say your name and who your teacher is to the podium, so we have you on record as being here. So if you don't mind just filing up. Thank you. And you're all from Jefferson, and what is the class? I'm sorry.
We're here for government.
Government,
And
okay.
I'm Jane Swanton.
Thank you.
Nick Price.
Ted Kalina.
Walter Anderson.
Andrew Becker.
Ryan Greeny.
Sean Bannigan.
Erin Loopold. Paula Delander. Ariel Camshay.
Mason Lone. Matt Steggy.
Alex Root.
Sam Boya.
Hannah Peterman.
Jonah Panus. Nathan Cameron.
Catherine Hurd.
Josh Leach.
Josh Waldron.
Zach Ansel.
Corey Brown.
Thank you. I believe you're all from Mr. Storlene. Is it Mr. Storlene's your teacher? And I think you hit the jackpot because I think tonight's a short meeting. So you only have to stay either an hour or for as long as the meeting is. So thank you for attending. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to the board on a item that's not on the agenda? Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to Part A. Someone like to move Part A?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Part A is our board business, minutes, personnel items, field trip approval and contracts, and finance. All in favor of Part A, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. That brings us to Part B, which, number 1 is the approval of the Achievement and Integration Plan and Budget for 2015 and 16.
Madam Chair,
Yes, thank
be
you.
it resolved, the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves Achievement and Integration Plan budget for the 2015-2016 school year in the amount of $1,900,213.33. In the event of the decrease or increase in funding from the Minnesota Department of Education, the budget will be adjusted accordingly.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. And the Executive Director of Student Services, Eric Melby, is here to discuss it with us.
Thank you, Chair Bartolotta, Superintendent Fujitaki, members of the board. Here again, I was here with Dina Wade-Ardley and Suzanne last week to go through this budget in a little more detail and answer questions. Dina could not be here tonight. She is tired. She hosted a huge diversity event here on Saturday afternoon with about 600 families coming to celebrate equity work in the district. So I will answer any further questions people have, but in general, it's pretty close to what you saw last week. There are what I would call some tweaks after you do a draft budget, then you get out your calculator and pencil and you make some changes. Some things you would notice were some changes in contracted services, pre-K scholarships. One that you might notice where there wasn't a Pathways to Graduation Coordinator FTE in this budget that there was in the last one is because that's been picked up by other areas of the budget, just not out of the Achievement Integration budget. And really, that's about it. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to field them. Otherwise, it's the budget we talked about last week.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Eric, first of all, I want to say thanks for answering my questions today. I compared the draft we had last week with the one that we received and noticed the tweaks. So I do appreciate you letting me go through these one after one after one after one. After a while, even I saw a pattern. So I appreciate the energy and effort that you guys put into this document. It's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing no further questions, all in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you. Next, we have the Solar Rewards Community Program. Would someone like to move the resolution?
Madam Chair, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 271 approve a contract with Sun Edison for the purpose of participating in a solar energy program, which results in a $221,000 savings in the first year. Projected savings over 25 years is $20,145,000.
Second.
Thank you. Our Executive Director of Finance and Support Services, Rod Zivkowicz, is here, and he is a guest.
Chair Bartolotta, Superintendent Fujitaki, board members. Tonight with me is our Director of Operations, Tim Reebach. The two of us worked with the different companies regarding this proposal. I'd just like to say up front, it's part of our overall energy efficiency program. Over the years, we have brought to the board many times that we have had Energy Star schools. Currently, we are sitting at 11 out of 17 schools are Energy Star. This is another way of us to be looking into the future of how to save money and be more energy efficient. It's also a first step in our right-sizing the budget 2 process of finding other ways to save money that don't affect the classroom. So with this proposal, we feel that it's a good step forward for us for reductions in the future. I'll take any questions that people have.
Thank you. Tim?
Yeah, thank you. It's quite a comprehensive contract when we're dealing with Xcel Energy. How long have we been looking for this or working with any of the energy saving companies? We're locked into Xcel Energy as our main utility provider.
Correct, and this is a contract separate from Xcel Energy. What it is we will be buying our power from Edison, Sun Edison, and then we'll be paying them, and then Xcel Energy will be giving us a credit back on our bill for all the solar energy that we buy from Sun Edison. We've been looking with them probably since the first of the year.
Correct, yes.
And we've met with 5 different companies and also had others submit proposals. From all our analysis and what is best for the district, our belief is that going with Sun Edison is our best option.
Thank you.
So where are these solar panels located? I mean, are they like in greater Minnesota somewhere, or any idea?
According to the legislature, they have to be in an adjacent county to or in the Xcel service territory. So Sun Edison has futures on property in Dakota County and futures on property in Wright County. So that's where the actual gardens, more than likely with Sun Edison, will sit, yes.
So we explored the options of either leasing out our roof space or putting up our own solar panels for energy.
One of
Go ahead.
One of the companies that we were approached by, that was their business model in regards to the legislation that passed. Those can be problematic from a maintenance standpoint when you think of re-roofs, when you think of all of the mechanical equipment that we have on roofs. It's not impossible, but it's a little tougher design when you're dealing with all of this stuff that we already have on roofs. You also have to have a roof that is capable of supporting. So there's some engineering and other things that go into even your ability to put them on your own roof.
So have our roofs been inspected, and would they be able to hold solar panels, or would we have to do an upgrade to our roofs or something?
Currently, we have not done that study. This solar garden concept is a concept by the state of Minnesota for the purposes of people who either don't have the ability, may live in an apartment or what have you, to participate in the program. We're just doing it on a larger scale.
So the amount of energy that we're buying from them, is that the only amount we could buy into, or is it the minimum or the maximum, or somewhere in between, or?
We're buying in the maximum that we can.
Okay.
And another I'll add to about going with a program like this, it doesn't tie us into any capital costs. This is a program that it's not going to cost the district a penny. The district is just signing up in the program, and we're getting these savings. Some of, as Tim mentioned before, some of it with going with the other programs, we're looking to have to insure the different panels. We have to do the maintenance on the panels, and also try to align them within Xcel Energy to get on grid or to get them into our buildings at grid. So there's a lot of cost and unknowns, and as we all know, we're not even able to keep up with all our normal maintenance within the district right now. To be adding to the maintenance just didn't seem like a right idea at this point in time.
Okay, so were there no companies that would we could lease out space? It would be either us buy them and install them, or this option that we're doing is the only 2 options? There's no companies that would actually come and put up their own solar panels and take care of the installation and be the owners of them, and we're just kind of providing space? Because we have a lot of space in this city. We have a lot of flat roofs.
We hadn't looked at any of those options, but again, we're running into the same problems with those options. What happens if your roof starts leaking?
Okay.
Who's responsible for taking care of it? And do they have to remove their panels? You know, it's getting into type of contracts with our, we have even right now with a lot of our cellular towers that we have in the district, it gets quite complicated every time they want to make a change or there needs to be a change on it. So again, we will look at options as they come up in the future, as people come to us and ask us for those type of ideas. But at this point in time, we thought this was the way to move forward.
So do you know how much of the energy is being replaced? I mean, how much of our energy will be from solar? 2%, 5%? Do you have any?
It's the full amount, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the first year is the full amount.
So all of our electricity is going to be through solar? Okay.
And then
Well,
there's if you look at the back of the resolution, there is a sheet that shows kind of the progression over the 25-year period of time. And there's a 0.5%, what is it called?
degradation?
Yep, that reduces the amount each year by 0.5%.
Okay. And then last question. When I'm looking at the subscriber agreement cost savings, how the credit value goes up every year, is that an estimated increase, or is that going to be in the contract? So we're actually going to be getting those increases for the next 25 years?
It's an estimated, based
Okay.
on what XL Energy does for their rate increases.
Okay. All right, okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Yes, Rod and Tim, thanks for coming tonight. Rod, thanks for answering my questions. I just really, I've always been interested in solar from way back when. This sounds like it's really interesting, but 25 years sounds like a long time. Is there an escape clause in case we're not going in the direction we think we should be? Is there a way that we can gracefully extricate ourselves from a 25-year contract, or?
The reason the contract is 25 years is because of the capitalization that it takes we're the subscriber, but it takes the vendor to put that solar garden online. So we are making a commitment for the term of that contract. The pieces that are in the contract that would allow an out is if they have a failure to produce what they've promised to us. Otherwise, yes, it is a long-term contract, and it's meant to take care of that capitalization of all of the equipment, infrastructure, hookup, all of that they're doing up front.
Okay, is there, when you say failure to produce, is there a number that we'd be looking at that we're expecting, that if they drop below that for, I don't know, 3 quarters or 3 years or whatever, is there some way of saying that they've failed to produce, or is that?
Well, I would look at this as based on what we are, is if we saw that there was another opportunity out there that we would be saving more with going with that other opportunity versus staying in this agreement if they were below the amount, we would then address it at that point in time and look into it. But basically, with the way this contract is written right now, we're getting a flat rate on our electricity for 25 years. So unless something, if XL Energy goes down in the way of their rate, that'd be the only way that we would be technically affected by this. So I understand your concern. I understand where you're going, but I think that we probably would, if they would drop down, it would be just less of savings, but we'd still see savings more than we could have gone if we would have just stayed with XL.
Okay, great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Director Storm.
And then just, we receive all of our power from XL anyhow. So this is just one of their attempts at meeting a particular legislative goal of having solar power in their grid system, and then we're taking advantage of that too. And I probably should ask some of the students who are from their science classes or government classes to flow chart all of this for us so that we can see it, or at least bring it up in the class so that we can see how the solar panels go into the ground and go through the cables into XL's main hub or whatever it is, and then that distributes out over the wires and everything else to us too. So we're protected anyhow if the tornado comes through or something like that, and then all of a sudden we still will maintain electricity to our facilities.
Right, it would just be less of a savings that we would see in that occurrence.
Okay. Any more questions?
Cool, just a statement. I just want to applaud you guys for doing this. This is something that I think we need to be doing, and I'm glad that we're moving to more renewable energy, and I look forward to more proposals you guys bring before us, being biofuels or more, whatever it is, geothermal or wind, any ways that we can move from being taker of energy to producer of energy and lower our carbon footprint is a great thing. So thanks for bringing this.
Thank you. All in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 3 is a resolution proposing to place a tenured teacher on unrequested leave of absence. Someone like to move that resolution?
Madam Chair, I'll take a stab at it. All right, this is a long one, and I'll pick it up on the back here. Whereas Natasha Kellenberger is tenured teacher in Independent School District 271, therefore be it resolved the School Board of Independent School District 271 that it's proposed that Natasha Kellenberger, a teacher of District 271, be placed on a partial unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits for .056 FTE while retaining a .994 FTE family and, 944, thank you, family and consumer science position in the district, effective at the end of 2014-2015 school year on June 30, 2015, pursuant to Minnesota Statutes 122A.40 subdivision 11 and the negotiated leave policy of the district. Resolve further that the clerk of the school board shall issue a written notice to said teacher regarding the proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits as provided by law, and said notice shall be in substantially the following form. Do we need to read the notice? All right. Notice of proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence is as follows. You are hereby notified that the regular meeting of the School Board of Independent School District 271 held April 27, 2015. Consideration was given to your placement on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits for .056 FTE while retaining .944 FTE family and consumer science position in the district as a teacher of Independent School District 271, and a resolution was adopted by a majority vote of the board proposing your placement on unrequested leave of absence effective at the end of the 2014-2015 school year on June 30th, 2015, pursuant to Minnesota Statutes 122A.40 subdivision 11 and the negotiated unrequested leave policy of the district upon the grounds described in said statute, and which are specifically as follows. Reduction of student enrollment in licensure area. Under the provisions of the law, you are entitled to a hearing before the school board, provided that you make a request in writing within 14 days after receipt of this notice. If no hearing is requested within such period, it shall be deemed acquiescence by you to the school board's proposed action.
Second.
Thank you. Our Executive Director of Human Resources, Mary Burrows, is here to respond to any questions we might have. Do you have a statement or just?
No, this is your two resolutions are coming forward tonight. This is the time of year when we usually come forward to the board and announce non-renewals or unrequested leaves of absences, either due to enrollments changing and in this year's case, because of the budget cuts that are coming next year that we've already discussed. So I'm open to any questions, though.
Director Berkman.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for coming, Mary. I just want to say thank you for answering my calls this morning on this. If I'm reading this right, and I believe I am after talking with you, it looks as though the 0.56 FTE is what's being shaved off. It looks like it's one class.
It could be like one class, one section.
Okay. And so this particular teacher retains a .994 FTE status.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
Director Bennett.
My
Oh,
question.
that was your question also?
Around that, so.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no other questions, all in favor of this resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need to do roll call on this. Do you want to start down there?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Somebody's buzzing.
All right, that brings us to the resolution to non-renew probationary teachers. Would someone like to make that resolution?
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Chair. Attached is a resolution to non-renew probationary teachers. I move the approval of separate resolutions to non-renew the following probationary teachers: Amy Anderson, Michael Berger, Angela Boyke, Christine Bulow, Colby Colora, Katie Cordes, Andrew Doran, Jacqueline Jeldon, Josette Hooker, Aaron Huff, Kate Kowalkowski, sorry about that, Kate, Melissa Crowath, Elizabeth Landwer, Victoria Lystico, Madeline Nelson, Kelsey Nimmer, Amy Peterson Sagrod-O, Helena Post, Jason Schmuck, Toby Schroeder, Kelly Schroeder, Jonathan Swanson, Bill Tabor, Summer Wagman, Caitlin Williams, Jordan Wilmer, and Marissa Weinman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mary Burrows is also here to answer questions on this one. Anyone have any questions, or do you want to make a statement?
I think the thing to note in this particular resolution is that in this list, we have teachers that are renewed because of, non-renewed because of numbers and because of cause. We don't separate out who's for what for obvious reasons, so.
Thank you. Director Sorrow?
And I think just for notice that some of these positions might be called back again, so there might be some of the teachers that have been identified will be called back due to whatever of the school curriculum and so forth.
Exactly. In fact, a lot of the elementary that were, they were all invited to interview for positions, and all but 3 of them did, so this week, so.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of this resolution, please signify by saying aye, and we'll start with Director Sorm this time.
Aye.
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 Thank you. It brings us to number 5, the policy review. We're looking at deleting policy 431, certification of pool personnel. Would like to make the resolution?
Result that the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves the deletion of policy 431, certification pool personnel.
Second.
Thank you. Our Executive Director of Community Services, Tom Bolton, is here to, do you want to tell us anything, or would you like to just answer questions?
Madam Chair, Superintendent Fujitaki, members of the board, upon review of our policy manual and suggested policies by the Minnesota School Board Association in search of any law or rule that would require us to have this policy, in light of the fact that we have numerous categories of employees that require various certifications and licensure, and this is the only one we could find where we had a school board policy. We didn't see the need to continue the policy, and therefore recommending deletion.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Hearing-
Well, just a
Okay.
question. Thank you for looking through all of the policies and finding those that don't apply anymore.
All right, hearing no other questions or comments, all in favor of this deletion of policy 431, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. It brings us to board member reports. Anyone have anything exciting? Go ahead.
Madam Chair. It's always exciting.
I know.
If I can get excited about board meetings, this is the portion that I get excited about. more excited than others. So last Monday, the Board of Directors had a board study session right here. We went over the Achievement and Integration Plan and spoke about board professional development. Last Tuesday, I also sit on the Board of Directors for Intermediate 917. We had a study session there where we went over our budget as well as the district goals. And it's worth mentioning that 917 is still struggling somewhat to find some teachers for their setting 3 and setting 4 special ed programming. We're trying to find the right people, but apparently the certification, there's a disconnect in how the teachers are getting their licensure, and they have to go back to school, and it just makes for a bit of a gap if I'm replaying the conversation correctly. And it makes it a little bit more difficult for the intermediate district to hire the teachers that we're looking for. So we're still looking for good ones. Had the pleasure of attending Hillcrest, Normandale Hills, and Oak Grove Elementary Schools carnivals. They're always a lot of fun. 2 of those carnivals I went to was Normandale Hills and Oak Grove was Friday night, and of course it was pouring rain. So, being as flexible as our district members are, they wanted it to be outside, but they were ready to move it inside. And coming to those carnivals, you never would have known that it could have been outside. Everything was set up and looked wonderful. A lot of fun. Just really want to say thank you to all the volunteers, all the staff that give time, and the volunteers, the parent volunteers that make those types of venues and those happenings possible. I mean, we really couldn't do it without our volunteers and our staff. I had just the distinct pleasure of attending the district's Elements program for, let's see, it was Ridgeview and Oak Grove Elementary. This year was a mock trial down in Hennepin County Government Center. It was up on the 14th floor. And I watched the morning presentation where Ridgeview argued the case of Yertle the turtle. And it was very compelling, so compelling that the jury wasn't able to decide. They had to go out and deliberate. And I couldn't stay for the afternoon show, so I didn't hear the final verdict to hear if Yertle actually was guilty. And for those of you that don't know the story of Yertle the turtle, go home and read it. It's a lot of fun. But the kids do a fabulous job. The teachers have them prepared. They're really, really into it. And there's a real judge in a real courtroom with real microphones, and he was struggling mightily trying to figure out how to turn up all the volumes on the microphone. So it was kind of fun to see a judge struggle a little bit. But it's just really a pleasure to go see these kids do what they do, and big kudos to the teachers that made that day possible. They studied so long, and the kids they had their testimony nailed down. So it was a lot of fun. The afternoon, by the way, so the morning presentation, the jury is the other class. So the jury would be in the morning presentation, that was Oak Grove Elementary, they were the jury. In the afternoon, Ridgeview Elementary would be the jury, and Oak Grove would present their case. And that one was the big bad wolf. And I saw that one last year, and he was guilty. Had the pleasure of making it to Kennedy 9th grade baseball games and the middle school track meet, which was over at Kennedy, I think it was last Thursday. It wasn't raining, so it must have been Thursday. Just want to say thanks again to all the people that make those programs possible, because we need volunteers, we need starters, we need timers. The starters run around with the starting pistol, and they have cotton in their ears or whatever they're putting in there because that's a loud starting gun. It takes a lot of people to make one of those events happen, and it's just really a lot of fun to see it go. So a lot of fun. Thanks again to all the volunteers, and I'll end on that one.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Sure, I was going to say, this is the time of the year where we get into an awful lot of carnivals, concerts, and athletic competitions, as you go out, and you just hope that the weather's going to be nice. But I think what's fun about coming to some of the carnivals is to see the sixth graders who were formerly there come back and see and walk through as real big shots, that they graduated from the elementary schools, and now they come back and talk to the little kids. But that's always fun to do. I met with the Valley View Middle School ambassadors, and we talked about the Veep food drive, and there were about 30 or 40 of them, and we talked about the Youth Advisory Committee situation, like with participating in it. But they've assumed a leadership role in each of the grades, and so they help do all kinds of things at the school, as well as serve in some kind of a leadership position. Then I went over to Jefferson, to their student council, and we talked about the Veep food drive. How's it coming along? Is that, are you collecting a lot of stuff? Do you know about it yet?
We start next week.
Okay, but anyhow, so we talked to the student council there, and one of the things that we had talked about that I dropped the point of conversation was about having a member on the school board, or whether we should continue the youth advisory committee. And they have about 30 or 40 students representing the student leadership aspect of the high school. So that was a good time sharing with them the role of the school board and the need for advisory committees in a variety of ways. Some of them being students, some of them being in athletics, curriculum, and a variety of other ones. We look to the community at large to serve on these advisories committees so that we make sure we hear their voice about any of the issues or concerns that they have. And then the other night, the annual Special Education Advisory Committee meeting met for their awards. And that's always such a special meeting because awards are presented to the various teachers that have worked so very hard with the special education students to ensure that they are learning and moving right along with the rest of the students. And it was about a 2-hour deal, but it was well worth it because of so many people, as Director Bergstrom had mentioned, participate and go a little bit beyond what's asked of them to make sure that our students are taken care of and supported properly. That's my report.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none. Brings us to our superintendent's report.
I have 3 things. First, there will be a joint school board Bloomington City Council meeting on April 29th at 7 p.m. in this room. The topic will be community workforce development. The second topic is the chair and vice chair and I met and we reviewed the upcoming agenda topics for the coming few months, and we have decided that to recommend to the board to cancel the July board sessions. So we'd like a motion for that, please.
So moved.
Second, I just have one question, if I may. The content of the July meeting, will that be moved either into June or pushed into August?
Both, yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
All in favor of canceling the July sessions, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None.
Okay, the last is there's an ongoing, at the state capitol, there's an ongoing discussion about early childhood programming for the state. There's school readiness, there's universal pre-K, and there's scholarships. The governor is having a meeting this Wednesday, and I've been invited to it, and I've accepted. It's going to be 10 people, the DHS commissioner, the MD commissioner, a mini mines representative, a Head Start representative, somebody from the Lieutenant Governor's office, myself, and others will be at the meeting, and the topic will be early childhood programming. So I look forward to participating in that session because it's an ongoing policy debate at the Capitol. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the board this evening? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.